Hi everyone, I'm here today with the new Himalaya version 2. I'm really excited about the launch of a new version of the Himalaya. It's got some upgrades that I want to tell you about. The first upgrade I'll tell you about is, if you remember the Himalaya V1, if you used one of those, it had a push-pull style converter. On the V2, we've installed a twist style converter. I'm excited about that upgrade because it's going to make it a little easier to advance some ink just by slightly twisting the converter if your pen starts to run dry. These converters also screw into the back of the grip section. In the old version, they screwed onto the grip section, and I like that they screw in. It's a little bit more secure than the other version. These are fully disassemblable, just like all of the rest of the Himalayas, and they have the same shape. We do have some new colors that have come out. You can check those out on the website. But the nibs and feeds can be pulled out of these, just like on the old Himalayas. Now, I will tell you, we've put a little bit longer feed on this version of the Himalaya, and what that's doing is taking up a little bit more space in the section, which allows more ink to get into the converter instead of staying in the section. And from what I can tell, it seems like it's having airlock issues a little bit less than the older version. We're also being careful to heat set the section to mesh with the nib and feed a little bit better. We've always heat set the nibs and feeds, but now the section is molded to the nib and feed a little bit more. So the fit is a little more secure there. Now, anytime you pull out a nib and feed on a Himalaya, I do recommend checking to make sure there's not a gap between the feed and the nib, and if so, heat setting that to close that gap. So let's fill one up and write with it. I've got our marble black and white version here, and this one is equipped with an ultra flex nib. And another upgrade is we're starting to offer an extra fine tipping on these ultra flex nibs, so it'll produce a finer line, and that upgrade is going to be first available on the V2. So as with any converter pen, what you want to do first when you're filling the pen is to twist or push and pull the converter where the converter is fully engaged at the bottom there. You can see how the converter's down there. And we're going to put in an ink all the way up to the grip section, not just up to the nib and feed, but all the way up to the grip section so that ink can get into the pen. And then we're going to twist that converter back together. Now, anytime you fill a converter pen, I recommend doing that a second time. You'll generally end up with a fuller fill, and it'll also allow the ink to backwards and forwards flush a couple of times in case there's any debris that needs to be flushed out. Of course, you want to have a handkerchief or a paper towel close by to wash off your section there. Boy, I'm getting ink everywhere right now. So we're going to clean off our section and put this back in the pen. And I'm really excited about how this new Ultra Flex Extra Fine nib writes. Just get a finer line than on the original version. And then, of course, those nice, thick flex lines. And I'm finding that this new feed really keeps up. The old ones did as well, but I'm experiencing so far, anyway, even less railroading, even with some pretty wide lines. So that's exciting. Anyway, there you go, the new Himalaya V2. Check it out on the website.